Deep in southeastern Nigeria, beyond the lush valleys and bustling markets of Igbo land, endures a tradition so powerful it challenges every modern belief about gender, marriage, and legacy. This isn't merely a cultural relic. It's a bold expression of survival, adaptation, and reverence for ancestry. It tells the story of woman-to-woman unions in Igbo culture, a practice born not from affection but from duty. It was a system shaped by women to safeguard families against one undeniable truth: a bloodline must never fade. Within Igbo spirituality, family holds sacred energy. Ancestors aren't simply remembered, they are continually present. Each name carries ancestral essence, and letting a lineage disappear would mean severing a divine bond. So when a household faced extinction without a male successor, the Igbo did not yield to destiny, they reinvented it. They evolved, preserving the bloodline by sowing new seeds along a path few could ever envision. This isn't merely a story of Africa, it's a testament to human creativity and resilience. In a world often defined by patriarchy, why would a woman choose to marry another woman? What wisdom hides behind a system that gave women the power to protect generations? Prepare to unravel the hidden legacy of a tradition that shattered gender norms, confused colonial observers, and endured through centuries. The Igbo people stand among Africa's most powerful and culturally rich ethnic groups. For generations, they thrived as merchants, artisans, farmers, mystics, and exceptional community builders. At the heart of their civilization lived one unshakable truth: family heritage never dies. Property, identity, and sacred duties flowed through generations like an unbroken river of ancestry. Inheritance flowed through the male bloodline. Yet life, unpredictable as ever, often challenged this norm. When a household produced only daughters and no sons, it wasn't merely a family issue. It became a communal emergency. Without a male successor, the family name risked extinction, ancestral lands could slip away, and sacred obligations might fade into silence. In a culture where ancestors were ever present, walking beside the living, such an outcome was unthinkable. But the Igbo, guided by wisdom and adaptability, crafted a remarkable solution. A woman of status or means could assume the position of a female husband. She would wed another woman, provide the traditional bride price, and the younger wife would conceive children through an appointed man. Yet those children belonged not to the biological father, but to the lineage of the female husband, carrying her name, her heritage, her essence forward. This was not defiance. It was an act of reverence for heritage, kinship, and the essence of life itself. At its core, woman-to-woman marriage functioned as a sacred system for preserving lineage. Within the spiritual worldview of the Igbo, ancestral spirits required their bloodline to endure. To fulfill this duty, a woman could take on the social and legal identity of a man, not as a change in gender, but as an evolution of tradition. Yet this institution reached beyond inheritance alone. It became an economic alliance. Affluent women, widows, and established traders often embraced the practice to extend their workforce and reinforce their trade connections. Their wives managed farms, marketplaces, and households, nurturing collective growth and stability. This was authority reshaped, built on unity, not control. And for women unable to conceive or wed by circumstance, the role of female husband provided a noble route to motherhood, honor, and respect. Society regarded them not as but as guardians of continuity itself. In an age where a woman's worth was often tied to childbearing, the Igbo envisioned a world where legacy and motherhood could thrive on different foundations. This was far more than a union. It was strategy, endurance, and sisterhood woven into one. To outsiders from the West, the idea of woman-to-woman marriage might seem romantic or queer, but such an interpretation misses the truth entirely. Within Igbo tradition, these marriages were never rooted in sexuality. They were structured agreements, deliberate acts meant to safeguard lineage, uphold family honor, and sustain the community's workforce. When the British arrived, their rigid worldview clashed with this complexity. Colonial authorities branded the practice unnatural, struck down female husbands' legal rights, and imposed foreign laws that dismantled indigenous systems. Missionaries, equally blind to its purpose, denounced it as sinful, striking at the heart of both the practice and the belief system that sustained it. Even now, the shadows of colonial disruption continue to influence how this tradition is perceived. In cities, woman-to-woman marriage is often brushed aside as outdated, a relic of the past. Yet in rural Igbo villages, it quietly endures, a living reminder of when women shaped destiny not through defiance, but through duty. This ancient system forces us to confront timeless questions. What defines a family? What makes a parent? Who holds the right to define marriage itself? In Igbo culture, those answers were carved not in legal codes, but in the fabric of everyday life. The lesson this practice leaves behind is profound, that tradition is not about immovable rules, but about evolution, the courage to reshape the old to meet the needs of the present. The Igbo didn't sit idly waiting for external reform. They built new frameworks grounded in their own beliefs. In doing so, they demonstrated that culture is never frozen in time. It adapts, it transforms. Their legacy shows that marriage extends far beyond emotion. It's a vessel of purpose designed to safeguard prosperity, lineage, and connection in every form. Through woman-to-woman unions, the Igbo proved that true innovation lies not in technology, but in human ingenuity. And above all, it reminds us that African traditions are not remnants of the primitive past. They are systems of profound intelligence, sculpted by generations of experience. This custom isn't a fossilized memory. It's a reflection of progress itself. Proof that when there is determination, there is always a path forward. The woman-to-woman marriage of the Igbo stands not as a novelty, but as a masterpiece of social design. It stands as one of the most remarkable social structures in history, carrying centuries of depth and purpose. Born from the Igbo people's unwavering devotion to family endurance, ancestral honor, and communal harmony, it was both pragmatic and sacred. In a world where lineage defined existence, or where one's name bridged the realms of the living, the departed, and the yet-to-be-born, the loss of a male heir was more than a personal grief. It was a fracture in the spiritual order. Thus, the emergence of the female husband was not a denial of womanhood, but an elevation of duty. It embodied the Igbo conviction that social roles could bend when the continuity of bloodline and ancestral heritage demanded it. The female husband was not only accepted within her home, but esteemed by society at large. She fulfilled the obligations of a male patriarch, paid bride price, and in many cases, held positions of political and spiritual influence within the community. These women stood as pillars of power, affluent, respected, and deeply influential. Many were widows, traders, or women without sons who possessed the wealth and determination to safeguard their lineage. They carried both legal and spiritual authority over their descendants, proving that in Igbo culture, one's rank was not confined by gender, but defined by the ability to meet communal responsibilities. This flexible understanding of gender as a role rather than an identity reflects the remarkable adaptability of Igbo society. In today's world, as debates around gender, family, and cultural heritage intensify, the Igbo practice of woman-to-woman marriage stands as a compelling testament. It reminds us that African civilizations crafted systems rooted in both reason and respect, long before colonial influence reshaped them. Societies like the Igbo had already mastered the art of preserving legacy and elevating women through collaboration and continuity. By revisiting such traditions with open minds and reverence, we begin to reclaim. We not only revive the buried chapters of history, but rediscover timeless lessons for building more inclusive and enduring societies today. The tale of the female husband is more than an echo from the past. It's a living monument to resilience, ingenuity, and cultural brilliance that continues to inspire. If this story touched you, that's no accident. It means you felt the pulse of the ancestors, their call to remember, to honor, and to continue. It is the spirit of unity, the courage of women who refused to vanish into silence, and the heartbeat of a people who protected their name against time itself. Join us as we uncover more untold African stories. Like, share, and subscribe to keep this heritage breathing. Together, we don't just celebrate our origins, we celebrate how far our spirits are destined to go.